Welcome to another review by your boys at Real Talk, Damian and Jamal. Jamal, we're talking about Endgame.
I can't believe this is finally here, man. We didn't actually get a chance to watch it together, but we've both seen it, and we've actually not conferred over it. This is the first time we're having a conversation about it.
I don't even know if I messaged you asking if you enjoyed it.
I messaged you saying, enjoy Endgame.
Yeah.
And then, you asked me about Game of Thrones, but you didn't ask me about Endgame, which I love because we've left it for this moment that everyone can see, and it is a film that you can delve into for such a long time.
This is the culmination of 11 years. This is actually, I remember watching every single Marvel film and the first Iron Man movie. And
it felt like something different. I remember going and watching it in the cinema. It's 11 years ago today that Iron Man came out. I remember going and watching it.
The 1st of May.
Yeah.
Goodness me. And I don't think you can really look at this movie without really knowing what happened in all the other movies. It's a TV show.
You can't just turn up.
No, you can't.
Just like, I'm going to watch Endgame.
That's a complaint for a few people, and I'm just saying, look, you're not going to watch the final episode of a show without watching the rest of them. And I think with a lot of the standalone, sure, you can just watch a Black Panther film without watching anything else. But this is everything from this saga coming to an end, and it's impossible for me not to have in mind everything else that's happened.
Exactly, because like you said, you can watch this film, undoubtedly people are going to watch it, and undoubtedly people have watched it having not seen the 22 films previously, or the 21 films previously. But you get to see characters in a different light that you've not even seen before, and definitely certain characters you never even envisioned seeing in terms of the visual way they look and the way they appear, and you get to see characters that have shown such strength and heroic nature about them. Heroism.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about the movie. So obviously this picks up right when Infinity War ends, which is right after Thanos wipes off half of the universe.
By the way, probably for me that is the best opening to an MCU film ever. I had goosebumps, like literally. Jeremy Renner with his family, and you just see his family disintegrate. It really puts things into perspective that it isn't just the superheroes that have gone, and they're not just gone. They're going to come back at some point. No, Thanos won.
Yeah.
The Infinity War is over.
Infinity War was his own movie.
Yeah,
I won't say that has a
that is the only
cliffhanger.
Superhero movie, the only Marvel movie ever where the villain won.
Yeah.
And to see Hawkeye witness his own family's death right in front of him was absolutely incredible. Because it's for a Disney film to show something so brutal.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was incredible.
I think it shows as well the brutality of this whole snap in general. I think it does a great job. So obviously, after the characters visit Thanos, there's the really surprising cutting off the head of Thanos, which came out of nowhere, but it makes sense because why wouldn't Thor want to kill this guy immediately? And the first words he says in this movie is, "I went for the head." Yeah. All he's thinking about.
But how amazing is that to see in a film? Because so many times there's moments in cinema in general where even Austin Powers mocks it, where the villain's right in front of him, Dr. Evil's right in front of him, and you could just kill him, but you never have the chance. Thanos was at his most vulnerable, and by the way, that is a massive testament to Thanos' character throughout these two films, that the only way he died on screen was when he was at his most vulnerable. Yeah. The Avengers could not beat him at his most powerful.
No.
They couldn't beat him with all the Infinity Stones.
And I think this film really does pick up where characters are. It's not really just a random film. I think all of our characters, when you come into Endgame, are at a certain point in their story, and this film lets you know, look, Captain America is dealing without Bucky and Falcon, and the 5 years later segment where he's hosting that meeting. I think that shows the brutality of what Thanos has done, which is, look, he's taken away the lives of everyone.
They're living in the apocalypse right now. It literally is the end game.
It's the modern world, though.
Yeah.
And I loved they showed that Black Widow is struggling to be basically what Nick Fury was for S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's showing how all of our characters are spread throughout the galaxy. They're broken. Iron Man, he comes back after the whole Thanos snap, and he hates Captain America, which he already almost did.
Yeah, they weren't on the same terms in Infinity War. They weren't really around each other, but definitely don't want to be around each other in this one. But he dealt with it the best. The only thing that he wanted to do was settle down with Pepper and have a family. And arguably, what happened in the beginning of the film with Thor killing Thanos and, you know, removing any chance of survival of the deceased Marvel characters, that gave him the opportunity to think, right, the only thing that left for me now is to start a family and to show my love for Pepper.
Everything makes sense. Like, it's
all coherent with an 11-year story.
And I think with people have a problem with Fat Thor. He's my spirit animal, so just stop, bro. Okay. But what do you not like it?
No, that was incredible. That was absolutely unbelievable.
Don't tell me that they don't take risks, by the way, because Fat Thor is the biggest risk they could take with that character.
And he's still an absolute badass as well.
But you know, after he kills Thanos is he's wiped out half of Asgard. Asgard was pretty much demolished after Ragnarok. Yeah. This guy's been put through the trenches. Why wouldn't he want to just go drink beer, play Fortnite with Korg and Meek, and go? Get on him.
It humanizes a god. It literally humanizes a god, and he's there. Like you said, we enter the new Asgard, and he's sat on a couch. You already get this impression when you go into this shack, and that's what it was. It was a shack.
Yeah,
I was just thinking in my head, how funny would it be if Thor's this absolute piss can?
Yeah,
enough.
And
then you see the belly, and you're like, oh my god, they've gone for it.
And then I love Korg and Meek's like interaction with Thor, saying when he's like, Thor, blah blah blah, number 69.
Yeah. And he comes on. Oh man,
listen, I'm gonna shove your hands up your mother's butt if you don't stop.
Yeah.
Yes, run to your father and cry. Love it.
Taika Waititi, how amazing of an impact has he had on the MCU? What he's done for Chris Hemsworth, because he said before Ragnarok that he just wasn't getting as much out of the character as he wanted to. No. And my God, what Ragnarok did for his character.
I think what we're able to see in Endgame is what really is the end game of everyone's character, because you know this is really the final film in that TV show, which is the Infinity Saga. So Captain America is obviously at one of his lowest. Iron Man, although he's not really low, he's dealt with the pain.
Yeah, he's kind of pushed everything bad that's happened to the back of his mind, has convinced himself that everything's alright, but you can see that he's borderline delusional with what's going on.
And then 5 years later, Captain Marvel has her haircut, by the way, which, you know, definitely looks like one of those women who would go into a retail shop and just complain to the manager.
She looked like a badass, bro. I would not...
I mean, I wouldn't mess with her.
How crazy powerful.
Looks violent.
How crazy powerful was she in this movie?
Yeah, she was. But do you know what's really funny, by the way? She hadn't filmed Captain Marvel before Endgame.
Oh, really?
So Endgame is the first time where she actually interacted with
the rest of the guys.
With her character.
Oh,
that was the first time she was ever in that.
She wasn't at the forefront of the film that many thought that she would be, but she definitely played a big enough part where you're going to think she's maybe not the leader right away, but she's definitely going to be up there with the big guns.
The next generation.
Yeah, really. 100%. And because really, now Thor, he's gone in a different direction, which we'll discuss later. Yeah. So, yeah, who else to take that mantle, really? Obviously, you got the likes of Black Panther, who his powers just they don't match up with the likes of
Captain Marvel,
Scarlet Witch. Even Scarlet Witch is up there with the most powerful.
But maybe that's the point. Maybe there isn't a leader, because we'll talk later. But this does really
evens things up with everybody.
And obviously, so after all this happens, Scott Lang pops out of the van, and he turns up to Captain America and Black Widow like, "Yo, this quantum realm thing."
Yeah.
Time travel's possible, and
sends it in a completely different direction than people thought as well.
So I think our characters as well are just they're used to just dealing with the pain of not being able to get these superheroes and their old lives back. And then time travel is brought in. Now, if people are gonna have problems with the time travel, with time travel in any movie, I just say take whatever happens in the film as it happens. Don't try and overthink it.
Yeah,
because I could pick apart any time travel movie. But the whole point of it, I don't think, is to make 100% sense. It's just what the plot needs.
The innate nature of time travel, you know, the fact is, we still don't know how it works.
Sure,
today, it's science fiction.
Yeah, it is.
So it is something that can the laws of it can be changed with each film, and it is designed to be confusing as fuck. Really, it's designed to be really confusing.
And then when Ant-Man is brought in to the equation, then obviously we meet Professor Hulk.
Oh my god. Another amazing character development as well.
Yeah, and it does make sense, because at the end of Infinity War he says, look Hulk, we got a lot of problems to solve, because obviously Hulk's having a problem coming out and just being a sideman to Bruce Banner. But Bruce Banner is saying, look, I can't be Hulk all the time. I've got to find a way to deal with being Bruce Banner, deal with being the Hulk. And
it's that medium.
And that's it. And it makes sense. And it's also great because it's in the comics. And it's like, oh,
his interaction with Ant-Man in that cafe.
He wants to take a picture. Yeah. Just come on, let me take
everyone was crying at that. And again, about this film, everyone expects, because the magnitude of the film is probably the biggest blockbuster ever. Fact in terms of
it is, yeah.
There hasn't 100%. In terms of the build up and the anticipation, it's the biggest blockbuster of all time. And with that phrase, you expect big drama, big set pieces. You don't expect a lot of comedy.
No.
This is easily the funniest MCU film ever. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, you know what? I don't view it as comedy, but I think I laughed more in this than any other Marvel film.
100%.
And it's
because it was unexpected as well.
Yeah, I think what this film does right is sometimes if you undercut moments with comedy, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's nuance in the comedy that makes it funny.
Because they fit with the character as well. Like I said, the Hulk development was in the comic, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
The Thor thing, it fits with his character from Ragnarok as well.
It does.
And he's still an absolute badass.
But even so, my cinema laughed at the line, I went for the head right after he cuts off hands. Did your cinema laugh as well?
No, everyone was just gasping.
Oh, no, my cinema laughed when that line... It is a funny line because it's Thor being like, well, he said aim for the head, so I went for the head. And you can take that two ways. It's dramatic because he's like, all I've been thinking about is taking down this guy who's taken half of my people, who's destroyed half of my civilization and my world, and he taunted me at the end by, you should have gone for the head. That messes with this guy because Thor's a narcissist at the end of the day. Yeah. He is, and he does love himself.
Yeah.
And that's why the line is funny, but also it's dramatic.
It resonates with everyone as well. If they had that opportunity to dispatch of someone that's caused that much pain to everyone around them and everyone not around them, you're gonna do that when the opportunity is there. But like I said, massive testament to Thanos' character. And then we get through this time travel process, which this film at heart is a massive celebration of all the work that's been done that's preceded it. And
without a doubt,
we go on this big nostalgic trip throughout all the films that have preceded it. Avengers 1, Dark World,
Guardians, and also even Infinity War with Vormir,
Guardians. Oh, exactly. You go from so many different timelines of this MCU, like all the phases of the MCU, and you just think what they have managed to build and make it coherent and make it such a vast and excitable world is just remarkable, really.
And I also really appreciate it as well because we're talking about the celebration of Marvel, but we're also talking about the celebration of individuals, and we're talking about when they go back to New York, not only do they celebrate Avengers, but they're celebrating Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Really what the future of the MCU is having the Sorcerers be a part of our character story from now on.
And in the background, he's one of the most, top 3 most important characters in this whole war. Really.
And I was happy with all 3 acts of this movie. I love the first act, I love the second. I love the third one.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I appreciated going through all the timelines. I appreciate what our characters did. I loved how Hawkeye, who we meet him before we go, he's Ronin. Which is brutal. And you talk about brutal from Disney.
That Tokyo scene, man. That had Logan vibes to it.
Brilliant.
Pure assassin. Yeah. Does not care about anyone, whether they're in pain or anything. He doesn't care what people think of him. He's there to dish out punishment.
Makes sense. Right, again, we're talking about this
inside.
Yeah, and we see the devastation from the first 2 minutes. You tell me that this guy's gonna just be this guy who can kill people instantly with a bow and arrow without even looking 40 yards away.
He's there stabbing people in the face.
He's got nothing left to lose. So why wouldn't he do that? It just makes sense.
When you talk about character arcs, though, we've already talked about Thor's, Hulk's, but then Hawkeye's as well is another one.
Well, yeah.
Even Captain America and Iron Man are at the forefront of the film. But Hawkeye's is an incredible arc as well.
And I think this shows how far Hawkeye's come.
Yeah.
And I think Hawkeye's always, for me, been the most underrated Marvel character. I feel like
Brenner's an unbelievable actor.
One of the best. You'll agree with this, but Wind River is his. He was robbed of an Oscar, I think, for that movie, or being nominated. So we go through the timelines, and all of our characters, we know where they're at in life, and we see how they're dealing with things. So Captain America and Iron Man, they go through problems in New York, so then they have to go back in time to New Jersey in 1970,
which is really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, because Tony Stark's dealing with, having his own family, and he meets his dad. At the pinnacle of him being a father, he meets his own father.
And which is someone, like, in the way that Captain America has always chased Peggy Carter, he's always wanted that reunion with his dad, and that sense of solidarity and belonging, and you get both of them in this movie.
Well, you don't quite get Peggy at the middle, which is what broke my heart.
Not in the middle.
No, what I was going to say is that broke my heart. I was like, crap, you can't interact with these characters, even though Tony's like, hey, I'll interact with my dad, I don't care. But you see him looking at Peggy kind of creepily through the blinds, and it kind of breaks your heart because Captain America's my favorite.
You can't disrupt the space-time continuum just yet.
But Captain America's my favorite superhero, and I've loved his character stories from Captain America 1, 2, 3. Peggy Carter is the one for him. And the sacrifice he has to make to just get these pin particles, not interact with the love of his life, get out of there with never talking to her again. It kind of breaks my heart right now. Unless what they don't do at the end of the movie,
perfect ending. Bro, when you think about movies, you gotta laugh.
Close to tears, I'm telling you.
Cry, jaw drop. Everything.
Sure.
Everything.
But before we get to the jaw drop, which we'll both talk about, our characters get all these stones. We're missing out a few things along the way, but it's a 3-hour movie.
Black Widow, bro.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Black Widow. So the whole thing of Vormir is that we as an audience, if you're paying attention, you're like, if they're gonna get the Soul Stone,
it's gonna be a sacrifice.
But you know what's really great? I think Nebula was the one who said, I think she planned it from the beginning, saying, look, I know how to get the Soul Stone, because I know Gamora died from Thanos. She probably had to think about what two Avengers love each other, and probably planned it for them to go to Vormir and sort it out.
Yeah.
Then we have the whole interaction where they're trying to figure out who's going to kill each other to get the Soul Stone, or who's going to sacrifice himself. Can I throw a really cool fact out for you guys? Shout out to my dad, because he's the one who actually brought this to me. So the whole point of getting the Soul Stone is to sacrifice something that you love.
Yeah.
Right? That's how Thanos got it, because he didn't think he could sacrifice anyone but, Gamora. So I think if Black Widow or Hawkeye, whoever, just jumped off that cliff, neither one of them would have worked. No.
You can't do that. It's suicide. It doesn't work. You have to kill someone.
Or you have to be willing to let them go.
Yeah.
And isn't it brilliant? I think this is on purpose, personally. I'm going to take this as 100% on purpose. When Hawkeye's holding on to Black Widow and he's saying, I don't want to let you go, and she's like, okay, you have to let me go. Yeah. Because he does that, that's how he's sacrificing, because he's dealing with it, and that's how they get the Soul Stone. That is probably, when Doctor Strange says there was those 14 million possibilities that could have happened.
And he only knows one.
A lot of those possibilities, and the reason why it went wrong was probably because Hawkeye or Black Widow were jumping off the cliff on their own. And I think that's perfect. And I don't care if it was on purpose or not. That's how I'm taking it. And it's brutal.
It's horrible, man. Another moment where you're shedding tears in the cinema, because what Scarlett Johansson's done for this franchise is awesome.
Yeah.
What a character. She was the first badass female to be introduced to the MCU.
I really want to say she's the first female badass in comic book films before Wonder Woman. I'd say that was the first one that was really brought to the forefront.
Well,
Catwoman 2, if you
had Storm in X-Men.
Yeah, I meant more who's pushed right.
Yeah, to the forefront of the story.
I think she was a bit of an unsung hero, but her death took me by surprise.
It did.
Which is great. Like, hey, surprise me all you want, but all throughout this movie, I was kind of like, okay, they're going to bring back Black Widow somehow, but nope.
No.
Even Hulk says, look, when I did the snap, I tried to bring back everybody, even Gamora and everyone, and you just can't. And then right after this, obviously, Nebula's 2014 self.
Talk about arcs again. That's another one.
I didn't like her Guardians one. I felt like I don't know if you remember this, but she always had those like really, I'm really talking low like this.
Yeah. Just traditional really bad guys.
It annoyed me.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job of bringing, look, she's come so far from 2014. And
she's an awesome actress.
It's a really great shout out to Karen Gilligan as well. But obviously, that's how Thanos is brought back into Endgame, because obviously that's all synced up. And, you know, if we're going to talk real quick again about plot holes, and the reason why I don't care about this one is people talk about how Nebula brings into the future Thanos, but not only Thanos, but the whole ship.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, because apparently, like, she didn't have enough Pym particles to bring back everyone. But
who cares?
They're an advanced civilization as well. Yeah. Like, I'm seeing a raccoon send emails to Black Widow. Yeah. I am willing to accept anything. So just if people are not okay with that, I just think.
So then you have Nebula and Nebula going up against each other.
Yeah.
Akin to Captain America going up against Captain America in 2012.
What a scene.
Not forget about that.
What a scene. That was great.
Ultimate geek out moment. Yeah. Ultimate.
Oh. No, ultimate geek out moment was the elevator scene. That was like 5 minutes. Oh no, 5 minutes before that.
Yeah, that was badass.
I was expecting them to do a reshoot, a celebration of that Winter Soldier scene. Yeah, you know. So I'm like, that was cool. Bring it on.
Frank Grillo back in the scene as well.
And Frank Grillo is obviously renowned like stuntman. So I was like,
one of the most badass guys back to in cinema.
Do this, and then the Hail Hydra line makes sense because it shows how Captain America is no longer this combat soldier is just ready to fight. No, he's smart.
Yeah, he's smart.
He's just strategic.
And if you know about the comics, he did join Hydra in the recent comics as well.
That was a clone. That wasn't him. That was Hydra's clone. Yeah. But no, again, that's a celebration of the comic
as well.
To
the camera as well.
Yeah, no, it is. And I'm getting excited because that is such a cool thing to do. Yeah. And, you know, we can talk about, like, actual, like, films, like, I don't know, like, if you want to talk about, like,
I know what you mean.
Like, I'm cool with this just being a great comic book movie that I can geek out in, because I followed this for 11 years. Let me enjoy my...
Regardless of that, of it just being, it's just a good comic book movie, it's one of the best comic book films, literally is one of the best films ever made.
Oh yeah, it's the best comic book movie for me, and it's one of the best of all time, because, and I don't know maybe if I'm going to say it's the best made, but it's one of my favorites. And we lead into one of the
final battle, man.
We lead into this final battle where, you know, Thanos comes to the future after Hulk puts on the glove, does the snap. We think he brings back everybody, but then right when Ant-Man beautifully, because I think Ant-Man's kind of like the heart and soul, low key of this film. When he says, "Guys, I think we brought them back," and then you see the hope in his eyes. And by the way, he doesn't see anybody in that. I think he sees one of the birds coming back to life, by the way. Because there's a scene where he's walking out and he sees some birds in the garden. Yeah. I think he sees one of them regenerating. That's a cool little fact. But then Thanos, and you don't hear it, you just see it. You just see that big rocket coming. Yeah. No, you see the big rocket coming down.
Yeah. Oh, you do? Of course, that's the first thing that happens,
and we're like, well, where do we go from that? And if we're being kind of cynical... How there's nobody died.
How there's nobody died. But the superheroes, they can survive.
You know what? I've seen the Rocket sending an email to Black Widow. Again, I don't care. Yeah. Okay? Then we lead into this whole relay race of the gauntlet, and then we see Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. Bro. Thor in his fat suit, but then he catches both of them.
Just kicking ass. He's got 2 hammers, and then Captain America gets the hammer. One of the best moments
It's not even that he gets the hammer. It's the way that it's done. Just thrown and then he catches it.
Everyone in my cinema screen lost it.
I don't think anyone screamed in mine. They were like,
everyone screamed. Like people were clapping and stuff. It was just
it was great. It was a cinema. It was a movie moment. You know what I mean? Like,
because it goes back to the Age of Ultron moment where he was the only one that slightly moved it, and you see Thor's face twitch like, oh my god.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like theories why it didn't work. I don't really care. I personally like to think he wasn't worthy.
He did it in the comics though.
No. Well, I'm talking about the reason why he didn't fully lift up is because I think because he was hiding the fact about Bucky killing Tony's dad.
So he had some negative energy around him. So.
That's a plot hole I'm striking down, so I don't really care. But that's him wielding Thanos's Thor's hammer.
Wow.
I felt like that was a celebration of what we've wanted from...
It's another tear-up moment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just tearing up at fight scenes at this point of the movie.
So then Thanos is obviously... right before Thanos calls in his army, we obviously see Nebula and Twin Nebula, Gamora, all have a showdown, and there's that big heartbreaking moment where 2014 Gamora is going up against The Nebula she knows, and she's with the Nebula she doesn't really know.
Yeah.
But she knows what Thanos wants to do. And it's a heartbreaking moment where she's trying to tell her 2014 self, look, I want to be your sister. I want you to survive. And she's like, I've got to do this for Dad. Because all she wants is love and acceptance. And then she's about to shoot Gamora, and then bam, Nebula wipes her out. Which I was like, yeah, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Then Thanos knocks out Captain America and Iron Man and Thor. And then Captain America gets up with his half-wrecked shield. Thanos is saying to him, hey, look, I don't take any of this personally, but seeing what you jerks have done to me and to my future self, I'm going to enjoy wiping out civilization. Captain America, being the cool guy that he is, straps up his shield. You see that kind of cool, gritty moment where he just straps it on because his arm's cut open, but he doesn't care how painful it is. He straps it on, the gritty moment. Walks up to battle because he knows he has no chance of surviving. You see that amazing shot of Thanos and his army going up against him. And we're thinking to ourselves, what happens now?
Yeah. But they have that moment with Doctor Strange and Iron Man where he says that I don't want to tell you how you win this.
Oh no, I'm talking about before they all come back.
Before all that. Yeah.
I'm saying this is when Captain America's walking up against the army. Is that cool shot? And then Captain America just hears,
yep.
Cap, can you hear me? On your left. And then the portal opens, Black Panther, and everyone comes out, Falcon, and then the rest is history. Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Howard the Duck is in it.
I didn't actually see that.
Yeah, he's in it, and
one of the best feel-good moments ever.
Well, I think I was overwhelmed. I think one of the most overwhelming moments because it's
us growing
11
up.
years.
Did you ever think you were going to see a spectacle like that? All your favourite comic book characters. Even your favourite comic book characters, you didn't even know were going to become your favourite comic book characters.
Stanley would never have seen that, and I think he was looking down there and loving it, and it was brilliant. And the whole lineup, the music by Alan Silvestri is really impeccable timing because it's matching that Thor and Rocket Raccoon coming down to Wakanda. It's matching Hulk punching the first that big Shatari worm thing in the first Avengers. The music's building up. It's building up to something as they all line up. And you just hear Captain America shout Avengers, catches Thor's helmet, assemble.
Yeah.
And then the Avengers music kicks in, everybody runs forward, and it's 11 years of cinematic history coming together against Thanos, and it is one of the best.
Everybody kicks ass in the battle. You know, we got Captain Marvel comes through and single-handedly destroys battleships.
Oh yeah, the battleship, that big warship
with ease.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch again shows why she's one of the most powerful characters in the MCU. We have this awesome moment like we did in Infinity War where all the great women characters of the MCU join up and go to battle alongside each other.
People don't like that scene, and I'm just going to tell you right now. Look. There's 3 reasons why I'm okay with it. Number 1, it was a cool scene.
It was a cool scene.
2, I think the MCU has deserved to have a cringy, convenient line of moments. Feel like go for it. I don't care. That's 15 seconds of a 3-hour movie, and you're complaining about that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, and it's great that's going to do more for children and the next generation.
Inspire little girls to get into comics.
Screw anyone who's really upset with that. Because
from a marketing perspective, how would Marvel not want to do that?
The marketing as well
into these movies.
It was really to show as well how far we've come.
Exactly.
There was what? I think there was 11 or 12. I couldn't remember when I counted because I've seen the film 4 times now. I think there was 12 Marvel women altogether for a great scene, and it was great. And everyone has their moment. And Spider-Man reunites with Tony.
Yeah.
Star-Lord has his moment with 2014 Gamora, and he's like, "You missed him the first time, and you got him the second time." She kicks him.
Yeah.
And that kind of sets up what Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be as well. But then we all build up to what you were saying. Doctor Strange says, look, Tony, I can't tell you what's going to happen.
And from then on, if you're quite savvy enough to know, we all knew that Iron Man wasn't going to survive this anyway.
See, I actually expected Cap to die.
I thought Cap was going to die.
I thought Tony, what Doc was saying was, look, if I told you what's going to happen, you're not going to let him die.
One of 2 ways. Either, like you said, you don't want Captain America to die. But then I'm thinking Tony is a guy that would be more than willing to sacrifice himself.
Oh, yeah.
But whether you're looking at it because he's got a child now. Maybe he doesn't want to let his newborn,
this goes
not
back...
newborn, but little girl grow up without a father.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
That's probably what he was thinking.
No, I think this goes back to our characters having completed arcs. Like, Iron Man's had his family, but he's also saved the world. He's gone and sacrificed himself more than pretty much any other Avenger, and he's put more into this world than anyone, and really, he is the heart and soul of this universe. He's the guy who started it all. He's really led this Avengers team in the first place, and sorry, I'm a bit congested with all this, and I'm gonna cry. But why wouldn't it be Iron Man?
Yeah.
Like, he's earned it. And then I think it's a really weird way to look at. So obviously he gets all the stones from Thanos. There's that. Thanos is fighting off multiple people, puts on the gauntlet, looks like he's about to snap it, but then Iron Man fights him, and then miraculously takes away all of the Infinity Stones, puts on himself, and bang. And I think people are questioning how could he put all the Infinity Stones on.
People might have been pissed off as well. Oh, well, Thanos actually didn't get a death that he deserved, but people could say that. He wasn't actually physically defeated.
Yeah.
But the whole point of the story has been the Infinity Stones. That should be the way that the saga should be finished. And, like I said before, the beginning of the film, he was very weak and he got defeated. And he got defeated at the end of the film as the 2014 version of himself, having not realised his full potential as the greatest villain in the series.
I think what people have to realise is that this Thanos is a blood-hungry, bloodthirsty villain who's wanting to kill as many people as possible. Like, he's not the Thanos in Infinity War who's kind of more philosophical. He fights still, but he has more of a purpose, whereas this is the mad titan who will kill anyone. He's young
and he's just trying to fight his way to the top, but he doesn't really know how he's doing it, how he's going to get there, but he's just going on pure instincts. But like you said, Infinity War, he's very seasoned, very clever, and knows exactly what he wants and how he's going to go about it. He has a strategic plan. He doesn't have a plan in this film, which is why they've caught him at the best time.
Yeah, and this leads to him, I think, being a bit naive with the gauntlet, because I don't think he knows how to control it. So Iron Man, because he also has his nanotech technology, I don't know if it's like magnetic, like, with the Infinity Stones, how he's able to rip them all apart, but I don't care how it happened. I'm happy it happens. And then we see the I am inevitable snaps, but nothing happens, and then you see Iron Man, you see all the stones coming up, and really, it's a callback to his ending line in Iron Man, where he says, "I am Iron Man."
Yeah.
How he finishes his first movie is how he finishes his role.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. It would have been cringy if anyone else in the world had done it.
Yeah, but great closure again.
No, and
everyone gets their closure.
That's the perfect word. Closure.
Yeah, because we deserved this, but more importantly, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. deserved this for all the effort, the publicity, the media tours, everything he's put into this role. Yeah. He's essentially become Tony Stark.
Well, he only earned 50. I think it was either 50,000 for the first Iron Man, or it might have been 500,000. Either one. It's between there. And the first Iron Man was completely ad-libbed. And he really, it shows there how much he's in tune with his character. If Iron Man doesn't work, this whole universe doesn't work. And it shows.
Exactly. Great point as well. All the pressure has been on Robert Downey Jr. from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like you said, if that film didn't work, and there was a lot of skepticism going into that, because the major superheroes at the time were X-Men, Spider-Man. Yeah. People looking at Iron Man, Thor, Captain America hadn't been exposed on a big screen before and thinking, is it going to sell? Is it going to work? It did work. We're here. So we get that payoff. Back to the present day now. Everything has sort of evened itself out. Yeah. Iron Man has his deserved funeral, which again brings tears to the eyes.
Funeral again celebrates everything that we've been introduced to.
And all the characters on the screen at the same time.
Beautiful music.
Like we promised.
But I think Captain even before that...
Captain America, bro, as well.
Oh, yeah. But before we get into that, because that's my favourite part of this whole movie.
Yeah.
But we also see the mirror image of Tony dying in Peter Parker's arms this time. And he's like, Mr. Stark, we won. And it's a real tearjerker. and Pepper Potts comes in, and Tony, they did a really good job of showing Tony like decaying almost after doing the snap, and it's like, yo, this guy got wrecked, like he's gotta die.
The power of the stones.
Yeah, and then
unbelievable.
You see him though helpless, and it just ends with him, just everybody looking at him, marveling what he's done, and then the funeral comes around. We see all these characters, the beautiful music. Then there's a brilliant moment with Happy and Morgan, Iron Man's daughter. Happy says, "Well, what do you want to do now?" And she said, "I want a cheeseburger," or along those lines. And I thought it was beautiful the way he just looked into the distance. It's really the only because the Hogan, Happy Hogan was the guy who directed the first 2 Iron Man films.
Yep, Jon Favreau.
Yeah, yep. Jon Favreau, and he really brought this at the beginning.
So it's another nod to the audience to say, look, even though your character's gone, we're always going to remember what we achieved.
Yeah.
What we achieved with the character on and off the screen as well.
And it's beautiful. And then that whole Iron Man bit is wrapped up. We probably won't ever see Pepper Potts again, I don't think. But then we cut to what? So we have the Infinity Stones. What do we do now? Well, I guess the only thing that we can do is rectify all the timelines and return them. Where I think you kind of have to suspend your belief a little bit. I mean, again, you suspend your belief for everything, but when he's returning the stones, you kind of just have to just say, look, he returned them. Somehow it all happened. Just leave it, because you don't need an explanation for.
Which is fate. The way that ended with Old Man Cap being there, that was just meant to happen.
Yeah,
that was.
I think as well, though,
that was his purpose.
Yeah, and I think you just overcomplicate it by trying to look into it.
You don't need to think too much about it. It is a lot of things in life happen, and you can only define them by its fate. It's happened for a reason.
It just happened.
And it is a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
His story is done. Like you said, you thought that Captain America was going to die in the battle. I thought that both of them were going to die in the film to sort of, as a logical next step for is it Phase 5 now?
Phase 4. Phase 4. Next, yeah.
So we're heading into Phase 4. These two have given everything to the roles. They deserve to enjoy the rest of the life now. They don't need to give anything else to these films.
They've dedicated a lot of their lives. And this kind of leads me into... Oh, by the way that Bucky... So right before modern Cap goes back in time, Bucky and him have an interaction, and Captain America says to him, "I'm going to miss you."
Yeah.
And at that point, we can understand, he's already told Bucky that when he goes back in time, he's staying there.
Yeah.
And Bucky just says, the line from the first Captain America, Captain America says to Bucky, "Don't do anything stupid until I get back." And then Bucky says, "How can I? You're taking all the stupid with you." That was the reverse line of what skinny Captain America said to Bucky when Bucky went off to war. And then he goes back in time, we see him on the bench, and then we see... basically, the next generation being handed the torch, which is the shield.
Yeah.
Falcon.
Big question here. They're doing a Falcon and Winter Soldier series.
Yeah.
Does that mean that he's going to... Well, Falcon, as a character, this should be quite self-explanatory. That should take place in the past, and we should get Captain America 4, 5, whatever, with Falcon as the new Captain America.
Sure.
That's what I want to see. I don't want to see this Disney platform used as... we'll call him Falcon, but really he's dressed in a Captain America.
See, I think
it should be the new Captain America.
Maybe they'll change the title,
because they did that in the comics.
No, but what I'm saying is that maybe it might not be called.
Yeah, it might be a working title. Yeah, which makes sense. Obviously, they're not going to call it Captain America.
See what I mean? So could do that. So
very good point.
We'll see what happens in the future, I guess. But then we. I'm gonna tear up. I'm telling you,
it's amazing, man.
He hands the shield over. You see the ring, and you're like, "Crap!" He went back in time
to pursue everything.
To see Peggy.
Yeah,
this character who we followed for 6 movies now, through all the Avenger movies, through all of the Captain America films. He finally gets his happy ending.
Yeah,
that. We were kind of teased in the middle of this movie. We've been teased in all the other films. Look, he misses Peggy so much. And Falcon's like, "So you're going to tell me about her?" He's like, "You know what? I'm going to keep that secret to myself." But then
we get to see it.
The camera pan that goes into the house with the music, It's Been a Long Time by Harry James. That song's actually the first song that's in Winter Soldier, which is obviously the Russo's first film.
Yeah.
That song in the end, which I thought was a cool little Easter egg.
Yeah.
I sobbed my eyes out.
Same.
When I mean, unapologetically, it's the perfect ending. It's probably my favorite ending to anything ever.
How awesome is that though for a blockbuster like that and a blockbuster series of films to make you believe in a love story that isn't cringy at all?
No.
It emotionally invests you in it. How much can you say that about modern cinema that actually makes you invest in a love story?
Especially not spread over like the way that did.
Exactly.
I mean, the way they were, so basically Peggy and Captain America have only met in the very first Captain America. In Winter Soldier they met, but she had dementia, so she couldn't really meet him.
Yeah.
And then Civil War, she dies. The love of his life, who he's not met since 1945 properly, dies, and he has to deal with that for the rest of his life. You know, there's no idea of this time travel. There's no idea of him ever meeting her again.
Yeah.
And we find out that like, this love story that we've passionately wanted but never had a chance to have comes to life in the end, and that's how this finishes.
Amazing.
And it's the best. Leading on to like my general overview, best moment for me was Avengers Assemble line and Captain America Dancing with Peggy, but it's by far and away for me the best MCU movie, the best comic book movie as well.
There's not going to be a film that comes out in 2019. I'm almost certain that's going to beat that.
No,
for me,
it's not going to get. There's not going to be a film this year who will probably give me moments like this. I love Star Wars.
It reminds me of why you love cinema as well.
Oh yeah,
doesn't it? And like you said, I love Star Wars too. But did they show a trailer for Episode 9 before?
Yeah, they did.
Made me realise why I love Star Wars again. The trailer's awesome for that. But just not in the same ballpark
not now,
right
but not now. No.
No.
Even though I personally love like Episode 8 and I
know you do.
But what the MCU has done is remarkable. I think to have this movie film version of a TV serial is just brilliant.
And so many like movie studios have tried to replicate that. You know, DC. A lot of them have tried to make this on-running arc filled with spin-offs or whatever. You know, even Conjuring movie universe has become a thing since Marvel.
Yeah,
but no one has been able to replicate it. Nobody.
No. So overall, this film did everything it needed to stick the landing, but did more than it needed to really hammer it home that it's.
I can't believe I'm saying it. It exceeded my expectations.
Oh yeah,
and I had humongous expectations.
It's a tale of three different acts. The first act is them really devastated and trying to deal with life.
Yeah.
The second one's a time travel film. The third one's a one of the best war films. Yeah. War acts, and I'm
gonna watch it again. I'm gonna make sure to watch it again.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen it 4 times. It's been out for a week and a day, so I'm gonna watch it again.
So that is our Endgame.
A bit longer than normal, but I think this
nearly clocking in an hour.
But this does deserve it though.
Yeah, 100%. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
So much to talk about.
If you guys have any like comments about it, just comment down below. We probably did miss a couple things, including Thor being reunited with his mom.
Yeah.
We didn't touch on that, but.
We'll probably do a where Marvel goes from here video.
Well, yeah, we have a couple of
Spider-Man.
We have a couple of video ideas sparking around the future, so make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Which, if you haven't, what are you doing? But comment below what you would like to see from us in the future, maybe Marvel-wise, what you think is going to happen in the future, and follow us on Twitter.
Yep. Thank you so much, guys. It was an absolute pleasure to talk about the film that has touched us so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great.